So at the end of the last video, I commented about free will, and I claimed that we don't have free will, but our wills are free. That's a distinction with a difference. We are, as we all know, we're genetically programmed to pursue a course of action at any given time that will be a benefit to our survival, a benefit to our desire to go on living, whether it be hunting and gathering or having a job to make money. Now take our sexual desires. We have no free will about having sexual desires. And we can't really choose who we are attracted to. So that's not a matter of free will. We can't freely choose our sexual orientation. But those things are willed freely from within us. We don't freely choose our appetite for food. And the need for sleep is not something that is freely chosen. Now, there are some people who want or need to distance themselves from the rest of the animal world. And they claim that the only reason that they eat, for instance, the only reason that they eat is because it makes sense. It has nothing to do with some base, unseemly instinct. These are usually, religious people, and who make that claim that we are on some higher plane than other creatures on this earth, and we do not behave out of instinct. But so the reason they eat is because it makes sense, right? It just makes sense. The reason they eat is because it makes sense. And of course it does make sense because that's how we go on living. Our instincts, drives, and appetites are designed by nature's God to be a benefit to us as they motivate us to pursue a life for ourselves, motivate us in our pursuit of happiness. Our instinct for survival, expressed in our desire to go on living, is basic, and our innate drives and appetites are aligned with that basic instinct, or enlisted, say, to serve that basic instinct to go on living. So we see that these the instincts, drives, and appetites, they all make sense. They make sense. There was this nature film that I saw once. I think that it featured this, I think it was a cheetah, a female cheetah with cubs. And the cubs were of an age where they were outside playing. They weren't in their, whatever they live in. They weren't in their hole in the ground or whatever. They were out, they were at that age where they were just out playing, frolicking. And this cheetah was pacing back and forth. There was a predator in the area, and she was concerned about her cubs because she couldn't really. She was concerned about her cubs, her safe. She was concerned about the safety of her cubs, and she was concerned about going out and hunting for food, because it was getting very close to a time when she would be too weak to go out and hunt for food. So she's pacing back and forth. She has this instinct to go out for food. And the instinct to protect her cubs. If she left her cubs, there would be no way for her to protect them. There's no way for her to get them in a safe place while she's away hunting for food. So she can't protect them from a predator. But she has to go out and get food before she's too weak to do it. So that's the dilemma. She's back and forth, back and forth. There's this instinct, she's hunger. She feels the hunger to go out and find food. So that instinct is driving her. And the instinct to protect her cubs is driving her. And she's back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And finally, she goes off to hunt for food. Which makes sense. Makes absolute sense. Now, I don't know. I mean, if you reason it out, you would come to the same conclusion. You have to go out and get the food, because if you don't, well, you don't starve. If you're too weak to go out and go hunt for food, it's not going to do you or the cubs any good. So that's the choice she made. And it wasn't a free choice. It's one instinct overcoming the other instinct. The instinct for food, the instinct to go hunt, overcame the instinct to protect her cubs, because it made sense. You had to do that. But, it's difficult to say whether she was reasoning it out in her mind like we would, presumably. So let's see, if I protect the cubs, I won't be, if I stay to protect the cubs any longer, I really might not be able to be strong enough to go out and get the food and hunt for food. So I guess I just better go, So that's makes perfect sense. Our instincts drives appetites make perfect sense. And I don't think you say that the cheetah had free will, was freely choosing. And, it's basically the same with us. But that cheetah had no sense that this was anything but free will. I mean, we feel like we have free will. I feel like I have free will. I don't believe I do, but I feel like I do. And it's the same thing, because it all comes from within us, autonomous, as we are autonomous beings. It's all autonomous. It all comes freely from within us. And we feel like we have free will.